welcome back. Today we are going to talk about the Horde side of racial identity. First, we're going to go over the orcs. We have Blood Fury. In vanilla, this increases base melee attack power by 25% for 15 seconds and reduces healing effects on you by 50% for 25 seconds, a 2-minute cooldown. On live, it increases melee attack power by X and your spell power by Y. It lasts 15 seconds. I don't get why we remove the stats based on our own equipment, but it works. For now. Next, Command. Damage done by Hunter and Warlock pets increased by 5%. On live, damage dealt by pets increased by 1%. 5 down to 1%. Somebody didn't like us. Next, Hardiness. Chance to resist stun effects increased by additional 25%. In live, duration of stun effects reduced by an additional 20%. We used to not care 25% of the time when we were hit and move on. Now it just stings a little. And axe specialization. Skill with axes and two-hand axes increased by 5. We hit more, we hit harder. We are now gathered here to talk about Tauren. First, we're gonna point out that in live only we have Brawn, which gives critical strike bonus damage and healing increased by 2%. This is just to match up with Command and Blood Fury. I'll take it. Now I can be a healer and a tank. In vanilla we have Cultivation. Herbalism skill increased by 15. And in live we have Cultivation again. Herbalism skill increased by 15, and you gather herbs faster than normal herbalists. In case we needed to gather Peace Bloom faster. In vanilla we have Endurance. Our total health is increased by 5%. And on live, we increase stamina by X and scales with your level. Increasing health based on your current health, or having the same amount of stamina at max level as every other Tauren. Less controllable. In vanilla, nature resistance reduces nature damage taken by 1%. In live, nature resistance increased by 10. Resistance versus damage reduction. My items against their damage. We'll continue. If you don't understand this, then check out the last video about the Alliance. In vanilla, we have War Stomp. Stuns up to 5 enemies within 8 yards for 2 seconds. 2-minute cooldown. On live, War Stomp. Stuns up to 5 enemies within 8 yards for 2 seconds. 1.5 minute cooldown. Faster to match the game, I suppose.
How you doing, Mon? We're gonna go over the next ratios. First we're gonna go over Berserking. Increases your casting and attack speed by 10% to 25%. At full health the speed increases 10% with a great effect up to 25%. If you are badly hurt, when you activate Berserking, lasts 10 seconds, 3-minute cooldown. On live, this Berserking increases your melee, ranged and spell haste by 15% for 10 seconds. Because haste is such a widely used stat, this affects any class, as it states melee, ranged, and spell haste. We used to get angry when we almost died and cause some serious damage. I guess we settled for the middle. This is kinda like the substitute for Blood Fury, Command, and Brawn Mon. On vanilla and live, we have Regeneration. Health regeneration rate increased by 10%. 10% of total health regeneration may continue during combat. No change here. On vanilla, Beast slain. Damage dealt versus beast increased by 5%. On live. Beast slaying. Experience gained from killing beast increased by 20%. Okay, mon. Did we really need an XP gain to stack on heirlooms instead of extra damage? This isn't even a reason to pick a race, because the sacrifice is too much. On vanilla, throwing and bow specialization. Skill with throwing and bow weapons increased by 5. On live, the Voodoo Shuffle. Reduces the duration of all movement and parrying effects by 20%. Trolls be flipping out, mon. We mainly use the bow specialization at max level, but this was replaced with a movement and parament reduction, making this match up with the others.
Let's go over the undead racials. First we're gonna go over the Will of Forsaken. Provides immunity to charm, fear, and sleep while active. May also be used while already afflicted by charm, fear, or sleep. Lasts 5 seconds, 2-minute cooldown. On live, removes any charm, fear, and sleep effect. This effect shares a 30-second cooldown with other similar effects. Pretty much the same. We'll move on. On vanilla and live, Cannibalize. When activated, regenerates 7% of total health every 2 seconds for 10 seconds. Only works on humanoid or undead corpses within 5 yards. Any movement, action, or damage taken while cannibalizing will cancel the effect. Still, no changes here. Underwater breathing. On vanilla, breathing lasts 300% longer than normal. On live, Touch of the Grave. Your attacks and damaging spells have a chance to drain the target, dealing X shadow damage and healing you for some amount. Additionally, you can breathe underwater indefinitely. I'm not sure why this is only one racial, honestly. They took the old racial, made it last forever, then added damage on top that heals you. This must be the replacement for Blood Fury, Command, Brawn, and Berserking. On vanilla, Shadow Resistance. Shadow Resistance increased by 10, and Shadow Reduction on live, damage taken reduced by 1%. Resistance versus damage reductions.
Anyways, thank you for watching. Go ahead and hit a like, subscribe if you would like to see more content. Overall, I just want to sum this up really quick. I didn't really see anything that much different when it came to racial diversity on the Horde side of the house. Honestly, it was mostly just casting and slight differences. A lot of it was very similar, actually. Just they obviously buffed some classes and obviously debuffed them, but they didn't really change what was going on there. Overall, I think class diversity is far more of an issue than racial diversity when it comes to WoW in general, but definitely some things in there, but not a huge deal in my personal opinion. But again, go ahead and like and subscribe, and I hope you can see more of my content in the future.